Idrissa lever i öknen i Sahara där han tillhör en stolt nomadisk stam. Kommer han att kunna föra stammens traditioner vidare i en värld av snabba förändringar?
In Africa, Turning 16 focuses its cameras on Niger and on teenagers and culture. Are Tuareg youth losing their traditions?
Oi, anas, ilinda artingnat. Sarta kantanin daga agala kinamara. Ilindu wada consider. Sekena bilay na kanya na iyo kan. Amar da wati shalo su rapun. Lamu chini. Maraba. To marda elu zejekin kada ilgadre da nagal. Wala da kin jugas. Isama daga machanat na chakkarma.
Lent fil samara. Na daru. Gemara agala gidi marra wadi injidan kin kundi marra. Wada thaniya ayli sinke wahana marra. Wasan wa sharan yingat.
Idrissa Atamo is a Tuareg. He lives in Niger and he's 16 years old. This is his story. Every morning, Idrissa goes to his parents' hut to prepare tea and to have breakfast with his father. During breakfast, Idrissa won't talk to his father. He will only answer back when spoken to. The Tuaregs call it takatiket, which means respect and reverence. Learning about takatiket is important for Idrissa. It's a part of his education and a way to maintain his identity as a Tuareg.
My father doesn't want me to drift away and end up doing things he never did. If I don't stay close to my parents, I'll never learn much about my Tuareg culture and traditions.
Idrissa's desire to learn more about his identity is typical of the Tuaregs and their will to survive. If anything has shaped the identity of the Tuaregs, it's their relationship to the Sahara. Known as the Blue Men of the Desert, the Tuaregs have been crisscrossing the Sahara for nearly 1,300 years and have survived here by virtue of their caravans. It's a nomadic way of life that still forms the backbone of their society. Idrissa has never been on a caravan, and unlike his father who became a caravaneer at the age of 12, Idrissa has grown up in a world that's increasingly removed from Tuareg roots and traditions.
If you haven't been on a caravan before, you're not considered a real Tuareg. Often, I hear people talking about their experiences on the caravans, and it makes me feel a bit scared. It's like everything else that you haven't done in life. The first time, you're always scared.
Contrary to his parents who were raised as nomads, Idrissa has lived his entire life in Timya, a small village located in the heart of Lair, a region that's home to most of Niger's Tuaregs. Idrissa has also learned a trade that's different from the traditional Tuareg jobs of herdsman or caravaneer. He runs a supply shop that his father gave him when he turned 13.
Idrissa, à quel endroit tu t'approvisionnes en coca? Agadez.
Oui.
Et c'est combien d'heures de voiture à Agadez?
Hein? 15 jours, please.
Allez, tu préfères le thé ou le coca?
Non.
Non. Coca.
Coca, ma الشاي جنب في الكوكا.
Donc combien est-ce que ضغط تسي؟
ما تسي. شاي جنب في الكوكا. كوكا أنت دورين تجلس فيك.
ضغطي.
لا طبعا.
Ever since the Tuaregs began moving to the cities, life here has changed. Before, things were always the same, and people didn't know too much. Today, it's different because people are living in the cities and learning new things.
The Tuaregs began moving to the cities following a big drought in 1984. The drought decimated the herds of thousands of caravaneers and forced many Tuaregs to abandon their nomadic ways. A Tuareg proverb says, "The hand that feeds you can also kill." Nothing is more true for the Tuaregs than their relationship with the Sahara. Idrissa's father spent most of his life as a caravaneer, but during the drought in 1984, he lost all of his camels. To survive, he began a new life as a tailor and shopkeeper.
When I was 16, there were no shops like this one. Back then, we worked as shepherds and caravaneers. Today, everything has changed and there are dozens of shopkeepers and tailors. The kids have a lot more to choose from than we did. We only took what our parents gave us. We never thought of going to the city or doing something new. Today, it's different. Young people are looking for things that they can find at home.
I love big cities because they're beautiful. And if you have money and work in a good job, you can live well. When I arrive in the city, I can feel the difference. The ground, the air, the people, everything feels different. The first thing I do is change my clothes because people in cities don't dress the same. After that, I go to the movies. Here, in the countryside, people can go a whole month without washing themselves. Even drinking water is tough to find. But in the city, there's lots of water, as much as you need. In fact, in the city, you can find everything you want.
Idrissa, like a lot of Tuareg teenagers, is caught between the past and the present. Although he'd like to work in a caravan like his father, Idrissa knows that for now, his only experience will come by listening to his elders. Even for the most experienced caravaneer, crisscrossing the desert is always a challenge. One of the most striking characteristics of the Tuaregs is their clothing. Unlike most Muslim countries, where women wear veils, here it's the men who wear them. The veil is a form of protection from the sun, sand, and evil spirits. At 16, Idrissa is still too young to wear a veil.
There's no fixed date for wearing a turban. It depends mostly on how much hair you have. There are guys who have a lot of hair and even beards by the time they turn 18. Growing a beard and wearing a turban is important for the Tuaregs.
The Tuaregs are a proud people who cherish their traditions and customs. Their common language, Tamashek, is spoken by nearly 1 million people and forms an important part of their culture. Language and education have always been controversial issues for the Tuaregs, who have systematically refused to enroll their kids in the government-run French schools. The Tuaregs see the schools as a threat to their language and culture. Today, less than 7% of the kids attend classes.
Back then, our parents didn't want their kids to go to school. Often, they would enroll them in the schools, but then take them into the mountains and hide them. Sometimes, government officials would come looking for the kids on camel and take them back by force.
If there's one thing we don't like, it's the schools. The kids who go to school leave home and lose their Tuareg traditions. They move to the cities and learn very little. After several years, they come back home and know nothing about the caravans or how to work in the fields. But those who stay here with us learn the traditional skills and trades. When they're older, they know how to work. But those who left for the city know nothing and can't work.
Idrissa has never been to school. Instead, he studies with the Marabu, the wise man of the village. Idrissa wants to learn more about traditional tools like the grigri.
Friendship is very important. If you're in trouble or if you're fighting, a friend can help you. If you have a good friend, you can tell him anything, especially things about girls and dating. And these are things you can't tell your parents. Mahmoud is my friend, and we know each other very well. Sometimes I go to his place. Sometimes he comes to mine. Often we tell each other stories and secrets. What I like the most about our friendship is that we respect each other's differences. I really like Mahmoud because he does his work well. Often, when I need his help, he does it for free. Mahmoud works with metal and silver, just like his parents. I respect that a lot.
It's the same work that my parents did, except they would make other things. What I make today is completely different. Before, we'd make tools for the Tuaregs. But when the tourists arrived, we began making these jewelry boxes.
Madame, viens ici. Madame. Ça, c'est le jet des chefs. Regarde, torti, t'as vu?
35. ¿Lo quieres por 35? 30, dile. Por 2,6. 2,000.
Ah non, elle a dit 3,000. Elle a dit 3,000 tout à l'heure.
If you don't have money, you have nothing in life. Everything we see and do requires money.
Est-ce que l'argent, c'est plus important que l'amour?
Ah oui? Yes, money is more important than love. If you're in love and you have no money, you can't do anything. People who are hungry and poor don't think about love. If I ever had enough money, I'd hire someone to work for my mother so she could rest. My mother raised me and took care of me, and she's the most important person in my life. Now, I think she's tired and deserves a rest.
Idris's mother has raised 6 kids and has provided them with most of their education. Like a lot of Tuareg women, she will pass on history and legends to her children. Today there's a marriage in Timya, and members of both families are getting ready for the ceremony. Tuaregs, men and women are considered equals in marriage. Here, the bride enters wedlock possessing a herd of sheep or goats and remains owner for life, even after a divorce. Although marriage isn't in the cards right now for Idrissa, he does like to get together with his three buddies to talk about girls and their latest dating adventures.
When we go cruising for girls at night, we wear our turbans. That way nobody can recognize us. Sometimes we walk up to 2 hours to find girls. Most of them are tucked away in the bush with their goats. If you run into someone on the way, you change directions immediately. You don't want anyone to know where you're going.
When you get to the girl's hut, you have to hide outside and wait until the parents fall asleep. Then, when everything is quiet, you enter the hut. Once you're inside, you can wake her up by touching her gently.
When she wakes up, she'll look at you. And if she doesn't like you, she'll kick you out.
If she recognizes you, you can sleep right next to her.
Our parents don't know anything about this.
Of course they know. They went through the same thing.
Well, if they know, they've never seen us do it, and they don't know everything that goes on.
Our elders tell us they had to walk much farther to find girls, sometimes more than 15 kilometers. When a man would arrive at the hut of a girl, he would stay outside. He would sit up against the wall of the hut and talk to the girl inside. That made both of them very happy. Today, if you don't go in the hut and sleep with the girl, it's as if nothing happened. Back then, the guys didn't do those things. At least, that's what they told us.
By dusk, the marriage ceremony is over, and everyone in Timia is getting ready for the traditional 10-day dance, the highlight of a Tuareg wedding. During the 10-day, the men dance for the women, a tradition that usually leads to a new marriage proposal by morning. At 16, Idrissa faces some tough choices. Does he stay in his village and keep up the culture and traditions of his people? Or does he pursue a career in the cities like an increasing number of Tuareg youth? What does the future hold for Idrissa? And where will he be 16 years from now?
When I'm 32 years old, I'll have a lot of money and a lot of people working for me. I will be the marabout of the village and will do nothing but the work of a marabout.